even. So we'll stick to English. Okay, while everyone is coming back from wonderful lunch and joining us, let's start our session. Yesterday, there on the plenary session, President of Uzbekistan was talking about irreversible reforms in this country. And reforms is not only what is happening in economy. Reforms is not only something that is related to business. Reform is also related to culture and behavior. Retail sector is in avant-garde of those changes. So basically, when you look at the city, when you look at what is happening in the city, it's always everything. The first thing you see is retail. Retail in different ways: traditional retail, modern retail, historical retail. But retail is a culture of people, and reforms become irreversible when people's minds and people's habits change irreversibly, and that is happening with retail. So today we will be talking about retail ecosystem, because it's a wide topic, and retail is something which is very interesting. Everyone interested in retail, because you may not be constructor, you may not be consultant, you may not be, let's say, engineer, but you always go to malls, you always go shop, and that is happening with everyone. So today we will be talking about different aspects of retail ecosystem with a focus on Tashkent, and we have wonderful, very interesting speakers today. Most of them are business leaders in their respective areas. And let me start with introducing those speakers. Nabi Tagaev. Nabi is running Uzaman, and Uzaman is owner of biggest retail shopping centers portfolio in Uzbekistan, 3 shopping malls. Most of you know them. Mark Samoilovich. Mark is responsible, is doing digital transformation projects. So he will be responsible on today's panels for digitalization, artificial intelligence. Kirill Martynov, KPMG, leading consulting company in the world. Ilya Lepustin. Ilya is commercial director of Tashkent City Mall. Igor Petruchin. Igor Petruchin is a specialist in catering, in food market and in food retail. And Ruth Pedersen, CEO of Korzinka, leading retail chain in Uzbekistan. My name is Denis Sokolov. I am head of company called Commonwealth Partnership. We are real estate consultants, and we are working in Uzbekistan for already 5 years. So let's start with our first topic. We will not have any presentation today. This will be a discussion, because what we will be speaking about, we will be speaking about very hot and very relevant things. So I will start with Nabi. Nabi is as an owner of the most established retail shopping centers portfolio. Can you comment on the ecosystem, retail ecosystem backbone is shopping centers, is warehouses, real estate basically. So let's start with the backbone.
Good day, everyone. Hear well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here to represent Uzaman Investment Company. This is one of the largest and the oldest investment fund in Uzbekistan, established 15 years back. Yes, our moderator, Denise, rightly mentioned, currently we own the largest malls, cumulatively 3 malls that has a 200,000 GBA. It's, I think, the cumulatively the largest that we own, we run, we manage those malls, and one of them is very famous, I think the oldest one, Samarkand Darvaza. I think many of you visited. The other one is the very modern Riviera, small, not small necessarily, medium-sized boutique mall. The other one is the Compass, which is the very close to the developing part of the city. Eventually is going to be the new Tashkent. So 3 very interesting, very, I would call it, dynamic malls with stable footfalls of about, I think, last numbers show at 12 million per year, which is the largest footfall, I think, in the region, I would call it. I mean, not necessarily in the region, but in the country for sure. Which is a very high convertible rate. Last time we checked, it was like about $40 per ticket, the visitors' spendings in the mall. And we partner with very well-known tenants, the grocery shops, which is the Magnum and the Makro. And from food, we have a KFC as a tenant, we have a Papa John's as a tenant, we have top brands, Lacoste and other, etc. So yeah, we definitely understand that customers' behavior is changing. Their let's say habit to visit the malls is changing. Maybe some of the younger generation is converting into online shopping. But however, as a management, we are here to ensure that the mall's experience is great, that people feel, let's say, comfortable at the malls and come back again for, the great environment for our tenants and both visitors. So yeah, briefly.
Can you say a couple of words about warehouse sector? Because retail is impossible without logistics.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. To continue, where I stopped is a lot of businesses moving to online. So online business cannot survive without the proper warehousing. So currently, I think stat shows currently we need at least 200,000 square meter A-class warehouses in Tashkent. But currently, what we have is about like 20 to 40,000 A-class. We can classify it from 20 to 40 as an A-class. And half of them is owned by us, Uzama Investment Company. And we are building another 40K square meter warehouse A-class, which is going to be outskirts of the Tashkent. Will be rented to top brands like Nestle, etc. So if there isn't it's the right time to investment again. As we go with the economic cycle of the country or economy, and as we go see this, there is a huge demand for warehouses. We keep investing in the warehouses and promote this sector, since we can clearly see that there is a very strong sustainable return in this area. So again, if any of you are interested in this topic, I'm open to continue the talk right after the session.
Nabi, thank you very much. Dear colleagues, what is important in business, all the business is about networking, so about asking right questions and getting right answers. So please consider this session as an invitation for the discussion, that you can approach our speakers. Maybe if we'll have time, we'll have some questions from the floor, but take an opportunity in this forum to talk to people, to discuss real business opportunities. Last question to you, Nabi. There is lots of talk about increasing rents in real estate. So how you if you look back, let's say 3 years, what do you see in rents, in shopping center rents? What trend?
You mean the rent price is increasing?
Yeah, within your shopping malls.
I mean, again, as I said,
Is it stable? Is it stable, growing fast? How is it?
Again, if you compare ourselves to even the Kazakhstan, so there is GLA-wise, we have I think if my memory is not failing, it's about 40 square meter per 1,000 citizens of the city versus I think 700 or 800 square meter per 1,000 citizens in Kazakhstan or Almaty and Astana. So there's still a huge demand for malls and shopping centers in this country. So that's why I think I will say the rent price will keep increasing until demand meets the supply. So I'm sure that it will be at some point the growth will stop. But right now that we can see the rent prices growing, at least in Uzbek Som terms, 15% every year, or in USD terms, at least 4 to 6% per year.
In dollars?
In dollars, yeah.
In dollars. Thank you very much. Let's then talk about other shopping mall and let's say other project because retail is a lot. Retail depends in the city depends on the business model. Retail depends on a lot of regulations. Like for example, Nabi said about the metric which shows the number of square meters of shopping malls for each thousand of people, and that figure varies across countries significantly, mainly because of the regulations, because regulations also affect how shopping malls live and how retail lives. And I know, Ilya, that there were lots of efforts when you were launching Tashkent City Mall, not only related to real estate, to the backbone, but to the regulation side of the retail. Can you tell us this wonderful story?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this discussion. Talking about Tashkent City Mall, so for us it's very important how we understand ourselves and what are we intended to do. That's why we have all the basic and fundamental things like our mission, our vision, purpose, positioning. And very important part of our vision is to improve quality of living in Uzbekistan, both for residents and for guests, as well as to continue to build positive image of Uzbekistan around the globe. And in this regards, I would say that the biggest challenge for us was to set right tenant mix here. And I would say that 50% of occupancy of our mall are the brands only entering Uzbekistan, and these are really big international brands. Like we have first IMAX, we have first Zara and other Inditex stores, and bringing these brands to the country is really not easy to do. And of course, it's not only our big win that these companies entered the market. Of course, we were strongly supported by the government and followed their reforms implemented here in Uzbekistan. One of the main challenges was tax regulation, because the population of Uzbekistan is like it's half of Central Asian population, but the pricing here were strongly protected with the tax fees and tax regulations. Therefore, we work closely in cooperation with the Ministry of Investments, with the Ministry of Tourism, and it was initiated, by the way, personally by Mr. President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, that new fees and new regulations should be applied for this market. Only under this condition, big brands said that they can enter the market and they can open their stores here. So what have been done? Basically, there is a decision of the Cabinet of Ministers of the Republic of Uzbekistan, dated, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd March 2023, about the reduction of custom fees for international brands. The intention was really to bring big brands and new experiences into the country. Basing on it, I would say that now the general fee for 50 groups of commodities was reduced to 7.5%, which is comparable and even a bit lower than in Kazakhstan and in Russia, and it ensured fair pricing inside the mall. I would say that we compared several goods of Zara for different markets, and the conclusion is that it is now equalized to United Kingdom and Kazakhstan. It's lower than in Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. It's much lower than in UAE and in Saudi. So this was the biggest step in changing the retail environment here in Uzbekistan. And of course, it's not only about fees and pricing. It's a lot about the procedures, because the procedure was very complicated. It is still not perfect, but please believe that there is a special customs committee working on this topic. We work with them very closely, connect them to new brands, and it's going good. The procedure is improving. There are open talks arranged each week. It's like weekly talks where new brands can come and discuss what exactly they need to do to get these special terms to be applied to them directly. So we also arranged a press conference with the members of committee in our mall, and we are going to do it again, bring more brands, share latest news, and it helped us a lot, really a lot. After opening the mall, we have received many new brands who want to enter this country. And I would say that it will not stop.
Thank you very much, Ilya. I will comment on what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. As the way this legislation works is the basic custom duty is 20%, but if you have a contract, direct contract with the producer, with the brand owner, your custom duty is reduced to 7.5%. So it's not exclusive to Tashkent City Mall. It's kind of it's for the whole market. And what is important, because we also work with international retailers, and all the retailers, they understand when they enter new market, they cannot exactly predict what is going to happen. And what's important for them, also some indirect things. And when they see that country is willing to reduce custom duties, that's a big sign that the retail market, that the retail sector will be growing. I want to ask one more question. How you look at Tashkent City Mall? There are different types, different namings for various types of malls. So is it lifestyle center, super regional? So how it is, how you consider that?
Both is true. Because first of all, it's super regional, which means it attracts not only citizens of Tashkent, but also many people from other regions of Uzbekistan as well as from abroad. This is basically how super regional terminology works. Second thing, talking about Tashkent City Mall, of course, we are talking about lifestyle retail. The idea is very simple. So we are creating here a destination for exceptional experiences. It's not a shopping center, it's a social place where people can come, socialize. It's an idea of a third place. So you spend most of your time at work or at home. So with this mall, we are providing a kind of alternative, alternative to come there, to learn new experiences, to socialize, to get inspired, and to spend your time, of course. That's why from the very beginning, shopping was only 70% of our concept. The rest was leisure, entertainment, and F&B. Now we see that, and it's the latest trend you can observe all around the globe, that more and more it's about leisure, and that's why even we are working in a technical mode. So we opened just 2 months ago, but even now we are already making some improvements increasing share of leisure and entertainment in our mall and rearranging our concept. So it's, to summarize, it's 100% about lifestyle, and like components like shopping, entertainment, and F&B and sports is another idea.
So it's a new lifestyle for everyone, or you focus on certain target group, age, gender, or everyone?
Of course for everyone, but of course it's discussable, and there are a lot of different discussions around it. For me personally, even in our group, who is our target audience? Because naturally it looks like mall is for families. It's like very logical, and you can see it everywhere. For me personally, and I stick on this, and one friend of mine who has a very successful trend-setting retail business, evaluated over $2 billion. Once I asked him, what is your secret? He said, youth. It's all about youth. If there are young people in my stores, my business is successful. Because youth is future, youth is trend, and everyone is looking to young people. So for me it is very important. This is how I visually evaluate the success of every retail concept. And that's why, yes, we are focusing on young audience, young families, young specialists, etc. I think conceptually it's one of the most important things to be successful in future.
Thank you very much. Ruud, I want to ask you, because when we talk about retail, especially here in Uzbekistan, always people keep telling, well, you know, retail is very difficult because people used to shop on the bazaars, on traditional markets, traditional way of shopping, and you are representing a retail chain, pretty successful retail chain that is expanding and probably setting the standard for the services and for the quality. So can you tell us how your retail chain is competing with bazaars, and what is the penetration of format retail in food retail so far?
Happy to. First of all, Dennis, thank you very much for the invitation to join the panel. In Kosinka, we've done extensive consumer research, and what that shows us is that when a Uzbek consumer is shopping, they for groceries, they tend to look for five things. The first one is atmosphere, ambience. There's still importance around the environment in which you do your shopping. The second is choice. You want to have the opportunity to choose between different categories or different products inside the same category. Price is important as well. There's still many households in Uzbekistan where the biggest item is purchase of groceries. We then also see convenience as a very important point. So being close to where people are living. And the fifth one is quality and food safety. And with those five, there is definitely a role to be played in what we call traditional trade. But it's also clear that it's an opportunity for us as a modern retailer. Today, modern grocery retail is about 10% of the total grocery retail market, but growing very fast. And as those five items or points are important for the Uzbek consumer, we see an opportunity for modern retail to grow in the sense that we're able to meet all five requirements.
Yesterday, President was talking about prospects for 2030. So what do you think? I'm sure you have some models that show what is going to be penetration of format grocery in 2030. So what's the growth potential? Now it's 10%.
There is definitely a growth potential. If we look into what we call peer markets, so markets that at some point in time of the development reassemble Uzbekistan, by 2030, I would say a 30% share of modern trade out of total retail would not be unrealistic. It very much depends on investments into expanding the footprint of modern retailers.
So basically, if we factor in the growth in total retail turnover, so there will be threefold growth in food retail. I know that you are also doing some online retail, so deliveries. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? So how it performs now? What is the, let's say, share maybe of online retail in your in your business, and what are obstacles or opportunities you see?
That's correct. We operate Kosenka Go, which is our online channel where consumers can shop. It is a channel that, like many other markets here in Uzbekistan, it's undergoing quite significant growth, and it's becoming an important part of our business. If I refer back to the 5 items I mentioned that are important for the Uzbek consumer when they shop grocery, what online offers is super convenience. So when you don't have time to go to the offline store to shop, then we can pick, pack, and ship your products from 2 dark stores that we operate. And having said that, then I also mentioned that this is perhaps where we are looking for further development, creating a footprint of dark stores, so we can limit the distance between our dark stores and the consumer. And we can be more optimal in terms of when we actually deliver. So having a relatively short window so that you as a consumer, it is easier for us to fit in the actual delivery time with when you are home.
Thank you very much. There are almost, I would say, no hypermarkets in Uzbekistan. Are there any plans to develop big boxes, big formats for grocery?
In my view, I think in Uzbekistan we are skipping the format of hypermarkets. There's a number of reasons for that. That there's no real estate available today that would be able to accommodate a hypermarket, which means you would have to do it as a greenfield project. But secondly, I mentioned again the 5 things that is important for an Uzbek consumer. Price and choice and convenience is important here. And if you have to travel to a hypermarket, you need to have a car. So that's number 1. Number 2, I also mentioned that price is important because grocery is a significant part of household budgets in Uzbekistan today. And hypermarkets are very much driven by very large baskets. And hence that means you would have to plan, and you would have to be able to actually fill the basket once every 2 weeks in order for the hypermarket format to work here. What we see is that the Uzbek consumer, the Uzbek household tend to split their purchases in smaller parts. And then that kind of goes against the requirement for a hypermarket of having big basket purchases.
It's interesting. So you're basically focusing on being closer to the end user, to the customer. A friend of mine, Polish urbanist, he once mentioned when he was in Uzbekistan and Tashkent, he said, it's interesting, people in Tashkent, it's like they came over a period of unsuccessful development that we had in Europe. So they just skipped bigger formats like hypermarkets. They just skip, for example, over-regulation of urban planning and something like that. So you think that, because yesterday, for example, on the session on the new Tashkent, the Crossworks who were doing master plan, they were talking about not even 15-minute city, they were talking about 8-minute city. And that will probably require the changes in the business model of grocery. So are you ready for 8-minute city?
Yeah, absolutely, we would very much welcome that. We believe with the 2 formats that we operate, one is what I would call a traditional supermarket, between 800 and 1,000 square meters, and then our new Mahala format, which is between 250 and 300 square meters, but much closer, and hence in terms of real estate, the potential is bigger both in the current real estate mass, but also if you look at how construction of residential areas typically takes place, that you don't build residential with 1,000 square meter allocated for grocery retail on the first floor. You tend to build where you would like to accommodate a store with 250 or 300 square meters. So we're very comfortable with the plans.
Thank you very much, Ruud. And now I would like to talk about other thing which is very important and I would say cultural for Uzbekistan is F&B sector, because again there is lots of talks about the controversy between international chains, fast food chains and traditional street food in Uzbekistan. And I would like to ask Igor Petrukhin to comment on that.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, to joining this session. Thank you, Denis, to ask this question about food and beverage place in the supermarket and mall system. So let me try to explain how the system can work and how we can manage the system and what is the position of the food and beverage business in the whole business of malls. So the session calls the infrastructure of the mall system, and actually the food and beverage is not just add-on projects in that. So because just to have one extra business in the mall and just to get out some kind of a profit out of that, this is not a task for that. So basically the food and beverage, the restaurants, the food courts are developed in the shopping malls because of a pretty simple reason. In order to make better shopping, we need to extend time that people can buy more. And actually this kind of purpose placed on like a basement for the following developing of this business. Because nowadays it's not only add-on business. This is something which can attract people to come more often and to buy more. And actually this is why this kind of business needs to be developed on a right way and can and should interfere the sales, the shoppings, so in order to be more efficient. So basically we all visited this kind of shops and with this kind of malls, and we all saw that the restaurants and food areas. And actually we need to understand, in order to be successful, what is the key of success, how we can, let's say, manage, improving of both sides. So basically there are 6 important points, and that's 3 points should come from the mall and 3 points should come from the operator. So the first, which is very important for food, is atmosphere. This should be given by the mall, because mall should provide right place and try its, let's say, decoration of this place and right location of this place in order to make people happy to have food in this area. Second is a wide variation of food concepts. Why is that? Because we never focused only for one group. And as it was mentioned before, the mega mall should be offering the wide range of services for let's say any kinds of people may come to the mall for shopping. And the third, it's convenience. So what does it mean, convenience? Convenience means that mall should place the food areas on the right place to make really convenient to stay in these areas and also just to see what is around that. So we'll speak a little bit later about that. So what is important from the operator on the food side? It's 3 key points. The first point is quality of food, because quality of food is a key point in order to be successful, in order to run the business and be sustainable. The second point is the price attractive. So the customer should spend money which they expect, they are ready to do it, but not more and even not less. And the third, not less important than others, is that the staff of the restaurant should be well trained, which means the restaurant should be clean. So the staff should take care about customers and do everything on a proper way. So this is just the basic stuff, and actually we saw it even in Tashkent city, that as soon as we start, as soon as this business is just started in any new areas, so usually the food concepts may attract people even more for to have like a food experience, but not just to make shopping. And this is quite a big question mark, how we can convert, our traffic, which may come to the restaurant, to be a customer for their for shopping. So basically, it's possible in terms we collect some data, and there is some matrix what we can have, and just to make it happen, and just to manipulate or even play with that. So it's very interesting, kind of investigation about that. So, and it looks like that. First of all, we need to understand who is our customer and what is our customer preferences. And basically, this is why the food courts, where usually we have QSR concepts, is not the same area as for fine dining or casual dining restaurants. So, because everything should be around. And this is all about customer behavior, which means if our customers expect to spend that much, that amount of money, so it can be kind of, a niche of customer, which can be directed to this particular area where everything should be around, which means the restaurant will provide them food for expected price, and shops are around will be the same level of price, offering the product which they may need. So, which means we shouldn't make it on opposite way. Just never place, luxury restaurant next to, let's say, stores with really, let's say, medium or low level of products. So basically, this kind of things exist, and that's many ways how we can do it. But it's all about collecting data. And the something what I would like also to submit, how you can make this understand time, where, and how you can, let's say, try to play with this. There are also kind of metrics what we can use as, let's say, as a basic to understand the time when you need to play with food concepts or maybe play with retailers. So based on, let's say, kind of statistic, which might be not valid here directly, but it's kind of assumption about that. So if you speak about average in business, in turnover, from the shopping mall, the food area may create for you like in between 2, 3, or 4% from total. So, and if it's not matching these figures, so you can try to understand what's wrong, what you can do better just to play and just to improve efficiency of the whole system. So this is like a first step of your investigation, and if you're fine with that, so you can do further. If everything which makes you happy, you may not touch something on this.
Thank you very much. One more question. In Tashkent, that's my personal observation, the biggest challenge probably in F&B sector is service. Service actually makes things, let's say, rather difficult here. And it's not only uneven, it's really, sometimes it's really, really bad. So when we talk about successful food concept, how do you say, just guess, maybe, so what's the relevance, what's the share of relevance and importance? Food quality and service.
Thank you very much.
So what's the decisive factor, and how to improve service?
Basically, first of all, I would like to submit, this is not a particular problem of Tashkent. This is a global stuff. Unfortunately, it's like that. So, but if you just try to understand what is more important, I would say it's both important. And I would say that's one more important than others. So what is kind of supports or kind of trends, what we can see on the market, is just to make more digitalization. Because so far digitalization is a key, how we can reduce the human factor in terms of, restaurants, the restaurant staff, in case they are not making that. So, and in this case, you only should care about cleanliness. Because as soon as we speak about food concept and any kinds of, restaurants, most important as a first view is how clean is this, how good is this place. And this is something what you really need to pay attention more now than others, because as I said before, the human factor can be reduced through digitalization.
Thank you very much. You raised the word digitalization, Mark, and we will come back to that. Sorry, we'll come back to that later. But first, I would like to talk about the global issues. So, because there are, we were talking about local trends, local market, but local market is always related to the global market. Some trends, retail trends, are coming from a global retail market, some not. Kirill, can you maybe underline the most relevant, important retail trends and what we see in Tashkent already, what we will see in Tashkent, and what is more importantly, we will not see from those global trends?
Dear Oleg, thank you for your question. And dear ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me being here today and together with other fellow colleagues and panelists to address the esteemed audience at the Tashkent International Investment Forum. First of all, a couple of words about myself. My name is Kirill Martynov. I am partner at KPMG Caspian, which includes countries from Caucasus and Central Asia region. I'm also responsible for, I'm based in Azerbaijan actually, but I'm also responsible for consumer and agriculture sector across KPMG Caspian. Now about retail market in Uzbekistan, actually it's interesting to observe this market. On the one hand, it is similar in development to markets of other CIS countries. On the other hand, it has its own development path. And today, together with you, we will dive deeper into some trends and opportunities and also challenges of the market. So I also have some interesting figures for you, so I prepared. If we're talking about trends, Uzbekistan's retail market is going online with only 3% of retail turnover attributed to internet trade. There is significant growth opportunity compared to, for example, 9% in Kazakhstan, 13% in Russia, and approximately 25% on average in the world. The demographic trend is also promising. The average age of 30 years in Uzbekistan suggests that young and dynamic population is ready to engage with modern retail formats. This contrasts with populations of Kazakhstan and Russia, for example, with 40 plus years. In Tashkent, the number of stores per 1,000 people is around 2. It's comparable to cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, but there is still room for growth when compared, for example, to Astana, with around 3 stores per 1,000 people. This indicates a market that has a room for new entrants, especially if we are talking about not only Tashkent itself, but also about other regions of Uzbekistan and that are less developed with this regard. Following this trend, for example, Korzinka attracted funds from IFC recently for investing in increase of number of stores in its retail chain and construction of a new distribution center. The opportunities in the retail sector in Uzbekistan are also promising. The dominance of bazaars and traditional trade, as you mentioned already, accounting for about 70% of retail trade, suggests that there is a considerable scope for development of modern formats. The retail is ready for diversification, and foreign investors can capitalize from this shift. So, for example, recently we all observed Inditex, a Spanish multinational clothing company, which owns such brands as Zara and Massimo Dutti and others, which entered Uzbekistan market. Wide access to the internet became available to every user in Uzbekistan only 3-5 years ago. That has led to simultaneous development of both traditional or offline retail and also online retail. Total population of Uzbekistan is more than 35 million people nowadays, with an internet penetration of 77% in comparison to 86% in Kazakhstan and approximately 90% in Russia. There is a substantial base of digital customers that are ready to be tapped into the market. Opportunities also include developing marketplaces, but marketplaces do not create sellers. Therefore, emergence of sellers of quality goods at reasonable prices and expansion of product range may also be the areas of interest for investors in Uzbekistan. Trends and opportunities also reveal challenges that in hands of experienced investor can also be turned into opportunities. For example, first of all, rapid development of both online and offline retail creates lack of qualitative infrastructure. And I believe all panelists will agree, and we already heard some comments on that, that logistic services, warehouses, and actually real estate properties for new stores are the things that are required on the market currently. For example, Uzum, that creates a digital services ecosystem in Uzbekistan, is constructing 2 warehouses right now of 112 and 150,000 square meters to be completed in 2024 and 2025 for its own business needs. Secondly, lack of infrastructure with certain temperature storage conditions leads to high losses and write-offs of products in the FMCG sector, especially, which also results in the requirement of proper logistics and waste management. Rapid development of real estate sector and its digitalization also means simultaneously working on development of online segment, chain retailing, private labels, thinking about foreign investors or even foreign players entering the market, working on big data and other stuff. All this creates another problem, that is the lack of qualified staff, qualified labor. Therefore, investments in trainings and developing of qualified personnel become relevant also. In conclusion, Uzbekistan's retail market is the market where the young population, growing internet penetration, and also underdevelopment of infrastructure create a good basis for innovative and forward-thinking investors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You basically you covered all the painful issues and opportunities, but I would ask one more question. In terms of retail formats, so we know that there are such formats like retail parks, like for example, lifestyle centers, whatever, big boxes. What do you think, which retail formats will be, have most potential, new retail formats, most potential in Uzbekistan? Mm-hmm. Which new retail formats we may see? Of course, you do not know exactly how it's going to be, but what's your feeling? For example, there is there is an opportunity for retail park or something like that.
Yeah, thank you for this additional question. Actually, this is my humble opinion, but I think I would summarize some of the trends that we can see on Uzbekistan market in relation to what you are questioning. So I think that Uzbekistan, well, let's say, missed this requirement in big boxes that are situated far off city center. Yeah? And definitely people need cars and transport in order to get there. Therefore, as we can see right now, shopping malls that are acting as Ilya already said, as entertaining centers, including some food retail and clothes retail, yeah, they will be popular still. Another segment that will be continue to stay popular is small shops near home. This segment will be developing in two ways. First way, by increasing number of SKU that they are providing on their area. And second one, actually it depends on the money that a particular buyer would try to spend in that market. So preferably it will be discount stores or, let's say discounters.
Thank you very much, Mark. We mentioned already digitalization. We've heard a lot about artificial intelligence, data-driven retail. So what what problems digitalization, problems that we mentioned today on this panel, can solve, and what solutions are available for retailers, for shopping centers, for companies?
Okay, thank you, Denis, and thank you everyone for the participation of our panel session. My name is Mark, and I'm head of ERP division in Avar IT. Just a few words about the company. We're an international consulting company, and we do business consulting and IT consulting for different division and different types of business. Trying to answer your question, let's say that the 80% of problems that my colleagues raised on the session could be covered by the IT solutions. Because, okay, if you want to, for example, to enter the new market, to enter Uzbekistan or to enter Kazakhstan or to enter any country in Asia or any region, you need to support your common business process in retail. Also, it depends upon the format. It's an online store, it's offline store, maybe you are a marketplace, it's totally different story. But anytime you need a support. Because, for example, if you are offline store and you need to go to e-com, because now you know that's 5 only or 10% of Uzbekistan market goes online, as Cyril mentioned. It's not like just we do a website and we just put the goods on until website, because it's really a lot is hidden behind. You need to provide good logistics, you need to provide fulfillment, you need to provide shipment and drop shipment, you need to provide warehouse and stocking, because otherwise your e-com and marketplace will not fly at all. That's why we need the help of digitalization, just some common things like ERP to provide the basic retail process for the company, and also artificial intelligence. Just to make our session a little bit more interactive, please raise up the hand people who use artificial intelligence every day. Every day. I think who use ChatGPT? Oh yeah. Almost everyone uses ChatGPT, but it's very simple example. Just imagine, because one of the main thing is the customer journey, and if you are client-centric, if you want to develop your business and be client-centric, you need to take into account your customer journey. What is the customer journey? Customer journey starts even earlier than you enter the retail place or shopping mall, because you need to predict what should I do and what should I want to buy even before I enter the market. And artificial intelligence and digital solutions could help you to analyze your traffic, how you go on the websites, what you do there. Then you need to support the customer journey inside the shop. For example, it's cameras with built-in artificial intelligence. So one of the famous retailer, Marks & Spencer, already, I think for 5 years, already is using this technology that can recognize your face, recognize which shelves you are going to, recognize what the personnel is doing, recognize fraud, recognize robbery, recognize even if you have some lack of assortment on your vitrine, and this all helps to reduce a cost for you and to support the customer journey, because if the system, your system knows what I want to buy, it could give me a very, very personalized offer. Not like I am buying a shirt and my personal offer is another shirt. Not like this. This doesn't work like this. And after it, the last but not the least point of customer journey is after the shopping, because I need to provide a support for my client and support it after buying, stimulated him to come one more and one more. That's why if I'm satisfied in my customer journey, so you will keep me as a client. If I'm not satisfied, it's not interesting for me to provide and spend my time in shopping. So it's not the case, because just raise hands who like to do shopping, let's say, and spend in shopping center more than 2 hours a week. Who likes? No, nobody. You just want to enter, you just want to buy what you want, you plan it, and you buy it, and you want to spend minimum of time with maximum value. That's the artificial intelligence also can support, because it could predict your behavior. Really predict. Even 5 or 10 years ago, artificial intelligence was like a miracle, but now it's the thing that you must have inside your infrastructure. Not only IT infrastructure, but also business infrastructure, but because artificial intelligence is more wider than only IT application.
So basically you are using artificial intelligence to increase the sales and profit margins.
Yeah, sure, because it's the main values that calculates in
We
every
all know
retail.
that sales and profit margins depends on the motivation of the sales personnel. So how do you motivate artificial intelligence?
Actually, we 8 gigabytes on Azure,
Okay.
and more capacity of the servers, more you can go, more you can do with artificial intelligence, because you know cloud computing has no limits. So the motivation for artificial intelligence is just if you need to calculate something very strong and some, for example, scenario modeling calculations, because artificial intelligence could also provide you a system that can rule your logistics. And it's time-consuming calculation. You just increase the capacity of your server. It's like do like this, and so that's it.
Don't you think that there is a risk, for example, for the business, if you have, let's say, IT system, complex IT system as a black box, so basically your people say, okay, that's not my fault that our sales are going down. That's this black box, that's that black box, and it shows some wrong data or whatever. So don't you see this sort of risk from the management point of view?
Of course, as a project manager in the past, I need to take into account all risks, and that's why. But neural networks, that's its artificial intelligence, doesn't work so that it's a black box. It's not a black box. It's a neural network, and we need to learn with it, and we need people to learn with this network some patterns that we after use in our business. So we need to minimize risk and. Okay, a small percent of risk that we couldn't minimize, we need to back up with some control points.
Thank you very much. We have 4 minutes left, and I want to make an experiment. So I want to engage audience, but in the little bit different way. So basically, I will ask all the panelists to say a couple of words, what sort of networking he is looking for, and you will be able to approach all our speakers after the panel with those topics. So Nabil, let's start with you.
Basically, a couple of words. I mean, as an Uzaman, we can tell you the investment, financial leverage, and governance. This is where our
Thank you very much.
strength is.
Mark?
Okay, so if you need any support, like in methodology of some retail, in opening shops, and support your business process and digital transformation, please ask me and my colleagues after panel session.
Kirill?
Thank you. Actually, we are interested in two cases. First case, basically, it's our clients. We are, as consultants, we are targeting business. So, for example, Ruth from Korzinka is our direct target. We also, second case is our colleagues who can supplement our services with their expertise in different forms of IT solutions and other stuff. So this is the second potential way of cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilya. Of course, we all will be buyers at Tashkent City Mall today.
Yes, you are welcome. My pleasure to invite you. And I would say that thank you very much, very good discussion, and I can prove almost everything because we apply all these solutions, F&B, digital solutions, all the figures Kirill presented. It's all about us. So from my side, I can just share the practical experience, because it's not a project for implementation. It's like a real thing. You can visit, you can see how it works with a large room for improvement still. What we are interested in are digital solutions, because we go more and more deep into digitalization. I think it's the only way in a contemporary world to be successful. Of course, if there are some proposals to enter Tashkent City Mall project with any exciting international concepts, we are always open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Igor.
So actually, we're specializing to support QSR and the restaurant customers of us. And the way nowadays we're developing this business is just to provide solutions with telecommunication as with upsales.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
Well, happy to engage with anyone who's as passionate about Uzbekistan, about retail, as we are in Korzinka. Anyone who sees the same great opportunity to develop business, happy to have a conversation.
Thank you very much. On your behalf, I would like to thank our panelists for their openness, because today we actually had a chance to look at some deep thinking of those people, of business leaders, and those people who are representing very important part of economy for Uzbekistan and other countries. Thank you very much. Thank you for all organizers of this forum, and hope to see you next year.